Welcome everyone. It's May 15th, 2021. It just rained another half-inch last night and it's muddy. But I haven't got tomato plants in the ground yet. And I've been waiting until I got all these posts set. So I have this idea that I want to turn this garden area actually into a greenhouse. So I set these poles this last week, all by hand, except for, you can see the skid steer back there. Obviously, I didn't do that by, but I tamped them all in, leveled them all up. And the idea of maybe having a 7-foot greenhouse, a 7-foot walk area. How tall those posts are. But anyway, today I'm going to plant tomatoes in the mud. And I've got this funky idea that I want to try. I'll show you here. I went and bought 3-inch PVC pipe. And I'm going to put tomatoes inside that PVC pipe to start growing. Because as you can see here, this is my first year of ever attempting to grow my own tomatoes. Usually I go buy them at the greenhouse, and plant them. This year I tried to grow my own, and I actually did grow a couple, but who knows if they're going to survive or not. But I'm going to go ahead and put those little teensy-weensy tiny tomatoes that you see here inside that PVC, and then inside this garden area that now has posts around it. Now obviously, I'm not going to put the greenhouse up till in the fall if I do this, but I am going to put a fence around it to keep the devil goats out of the garden. That will keep my bride happy. So I'm going to go plant these. We'll see what happens. So here we are back planting these tomatoes, and you can see I got this PVC. I'm just going to stick it in the ground a little ways, something like that, maybe a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Let's throw the mud back in there. Top it down. Now I'm going to get some soil. Forgive me with my ability to hold a video device, which is Samsung Galaxy S10 phone, and run a little spade at the same time is not very good. But you get the idea. Plant these in here, and I'm going to throw in some little bit of garden soil, topsoil if you will, and put the tomato in there. And I got my secret ingredient, which I don't want to tell you what my secret ingredient is, but we'll see here. Okay, so I have these little 3-inch PVC stubs in the ground. Notice they're not straight. No, I didn't string it out and get them exact, because I don't do that. I just plant stuff and it's gonna grow. See those trees back there behind me? They've been there 100 years. They didn't plant them straight. There's like 4 of them back there. And they look great. And they provide my wonderful home shade. So, I don't plant stuff in a straight line. Sorry. Yeah, the pup's back there. I'll introduce him to you. Black Lab mix is 13 years old. That's Moxie. And that, I don't know what you call it. Some folks call them Weimarosses. No, Weimaraptors. That'd be it. You think I get it right if I'm going to give him a name, huh? That's a Weimaraner back there. He's not even quite yet a year old, and he is out of control. He's a great dog, though, in terms of having a good nose and being a hunter. Hey, Dobie, sit. See how great a dog he is? Sit, Dobie. That's how great a dog he is, right? But seriously, he can hunt. Anyway, I've got, for a pup, he can hunt. I've got these little pipes in the ground here. I'm going to go fetch up some some of my favorite topsoil, throw in there, and then we're gonna put tomatoes in there. Okay, so I lied. It's not topsoil. It is just your all-purpose general garden soil by Miracle Grow. And it says right here that it will feed for up to 3 months. 3 months! So let's see, it's May 15th, June 15th, July 15th, August 15th. It's gonna get these tomatoes good and going, right? So I went put just a little bit of that in there in each of those little tubs. And if you're wondering why I waited till May 15th to plant tomatoes, well, as I mentioned earlier, I was trying to get these posts in the ground to get this going. But also, if you look back over here beholding my shoulder, sorry for all the dizziness there. All those trees, I live right next to a creek. And believe it or not, I've lived here for 20 years, and it freezes on May 10th. I'd say over 10 of the 20 years I've lived here, on May 10th it has froze. I've been waking up at 28 degrees. This year I woke up on May 11th, it was 32 degrees. Nothing froze, but it was 32 degrees. If I'd had these tomatoes out here, they probably would have froze. So that's why I wait till after May 10th. By the way, I love where I live. I mentioned earlier that I have a secret ingredient. It's not really a secret ingredient, but my bride, by the way, we've been married for 30 years. Tell you how old I am. Anyway, my beautiful bride last year did a little experiment. She planted her tomatoes, and she, half of them, she cracked an egg. An egg, yes, an egg. And put the tomato on top of it when she planted it. The other half she didn't. And you know what? You could see a difference in the tomatoes last year. So this year, I'm going a step above and beyond. Right here, see those are? You know what those are? Those would be duck eggs. We're not talking just chicken eggs. We're talking, those are duck eggs. So I'm gonna take one of these duck eggs and I'm gonna crack it like I was gonna fry it, right? And I'm gonna crack it open, plop it open. There it goes into the deal. Take the shell, put it in there on top of it. After I get it all crunched up. See that? Crunched up that shell, throw it in there. An egg, secret weapon for tomatoes in 2021. There. So here we go. We got all tomatoes in the ground, I don't know, the little pots. And if you're wondering, all of these down through here are big boy variety tomatoes. I also planted some beefsteak seeds. See that? There's my cardboard, and I wrote beefsteak on there so I wouldn't forget. BS, right? And it is BS because none of them grew except for this little tinky thing right here. I thought, well, I'll bring him outside and see how long it takes for him to die. You know, I planted him. He's green. We'll see what happens. But so here it is, May 15th. I finally get tomatoes in the ground. And if you care to see how they do, follow along because I will post updates. Love the outdoors.